For many years, murder was a way of life in the American Mafia. Let's take a look at a selection of mobsters talking about killers and killing. I'm James Gladwish and welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Today, we're going to take a quick look at a selection of mobsters discussing killers and killing. First up, Anthony Ace Aiello. Anthony Ace Aiello is an imprisoned Bonanno crime family mobster who started off in the greatly feared Giannini crew. The Giannini crew were a violent crew of mob associates which included the extremely vicious Vito Guzzo Jr. Anthony Ace Aiello became a soldier in the crew of Bonanno family captain Dominick Cicale. In 2004, Anthony Ace Aiello shot to death Bonanno crime family associate Randolph "Randy" Pizzolo, ultimately on the orders of Vincent "Vinny Basciano. Pizzolo was shot 7 times by Aiello, including in his head, lungs and heart. Former Bonanno crime family captain Dominick Cicale would tell me his views on Anthony Ace Aiello.
Ace Aiello, I'm the one who nicknamed him my Luca Bratz. Extremely dangerous, loyal, follows. If something happens at 3 in the morning, he would be at my house from Queens at 3:15. Excellent, loved him, felt bad. I tried actually saving him. I didn't want, if I had to testify against him. And I asked the government if they could be lenient on him. They told him for me to mind my own business, worry about myself. But I love Ace till this day.
Charles "Charlie Moose" Panatella was a greatly feared Colombo crime family mobster. Mafia legend states that he once made a man eat his own testicle right before he killed him. Whether this is true, who knows, but Panatella had a ferocious reputation. In 2001, the aging Panatella was called in to assist on a sit-down with the powerful Genovese crime family. Panatella, who was approaching 80, allegedly laid down the law to the Genovese regarding a union dispute. Former Colombo family underboss Jackie DeRoss was recorded after the sit-down talking about Charlie Panatella. Panatella would chop your fucking head off. He's an old man, but you know what? They still shit their pants about Panatella. Next up, we have a Colombo family soldier discussing how a mob hit is executed. After Colombo mobster Joseph "Joe Campi" Campanella became a government witness, he schooled his FBI handlers in how the Colombo crime family dressed for a hit, and the different precautionary measures they took, all of which he would state was standard procedure. When Campanella was shot at by Vincent "Chicky" DiMartino in 2001, Joe Campi referenced how Chicky DiMartino wore 2 sets of clothing and had wrapped the weapon in a towel. He stated, "The shooter wore the extra clothing and wrapped the gun to minimize gunpowder residue." He would later state to his handlers about the protocol after a hit. The vehicle used in a hit would then be met by 2 more vehicles. The shooter would take off the extra clothes and dump them with the gun in one car, while he would be driven away in the other. The gun and the clothes would then be disposed of while the shooter escaped. The driver of the vehicle used in the hit would be on his own, and all the participants would go their separate ways. William "Action" Jackson was a sadistic loan shark collector associated with the Chicago outfit. He was brutally tortured and murdered in 1961. There were rumours in the Chicago outfit that William Jackson was an informant for the FBI, and that this led to his killing. Other sources state that Jackson had raped the wife of a man who was connected with the outfit while the man was in prison. Chicago outfit mobsters Fiore Fifi Buccieri, James Turk Torello, David Yaris, William Dodano, and Jackie Cerone were recorded discussing William Action Jackson's torture, which included having a meat hook rammed up his rectum. The transcript of part of their conversation went as follows. James Turk Torello said, "Jackson was hung up on that meat hook. He was so heavy he bent it. He was on that thing 3 days before he croaked." Fifi Bicheri then giggled and recalled, "Jackson, you should have seen the guy, like an elephant he was, and when Jimmy hit him with that electric prod," Turk Torello continued, "he was flopping around on that hook, Jackie. We tossed water on him to give the prod a better charge, and he's screaming." In more recent times, with modern surveillance and forensics, mobsters have to be ultra vigilant when it comes to planning a hit. On July 6, 2017, New Jersey-based Philadelphia crime family soldier Joseph "Joey Electric" Savidio was recorded planning a hit on an associate who had been talking openly and disparagingly about Joey Electric's criminal activities. Savidio was talking about how he and associate Carl Chianese had planned to minimize any trace of their involvement in the hit. He said, "Me and Carl got 2 phones just exclusively for this, you know? The thing is, everything is away. I've been leaving my phones home. I made him, Chianese, leave his Easy Pass at home. We paid cash, you know." In another recording in December 2016, the year before, Joey Electric's video is recorded trying to buy a revolver, because that weapon is generally considered better with regards to counter-forensics. Video. "Does he got any revolvers? Like a 32? 38? Undercover agent. Just like something you put on, like a foot, or something to just have." Video. "Well, not to just have, to use it and throw it the fuck away. Don't want no cases to come out. A revolver is better off." Former Bonanno crime family acting boss Vincent "Vinny Gorgeous" Basciano was a mobster who wasn't afraid to get his own hands dirty, even when he was a captain. Here, former Bonanno family captain Dominick Cicale talks further about Vincent Basciano.
Yes, Vinny was old school, where Vinny initially, Vinny never had to do a piece of work. You know, he was a captain, powerful one. He became an acting boss, and he would still go do work. Vinny's motto was, how could any of these guys like myself, respect him if he's given orders to kill? So Vinny would Vinny would show, lead by example. I wouldn't ask you to do something I haven't done with you already. And which is, you earn a lot of respect with that. And Vinny was very sharp and wise.
Cicale would then expand on what made Vincent Basciano so feared.
But Vinny was more dangerous, if that makes sense. Vinny acts quickly, like he acts very quick. He's a fair guy now, because there was some stories that I'll be telling later on Mafia Roundtable where Vinny had things happen to him and people didn't know he was straightened out. They didn't know who he was. Embarrassing things. Yet Vinny didn't choose to kill them. So he was secure with himself, his manhood. But if you knew who he was and you violated him, said something out of line that could jeopardize his family, he's killing you in a heartbeat. As he would say, 326.
Harold K.O. Konigsburg was a Jewish mobster who was associated with senior members of the Bonanno crime family. But he was also connected to the Genovese crime family's Greenwich Village crew. While incarcerated in the 1960s, Harold Konigsburg became a government informant and provided information on numerous gangland individuals. Through his connection with the Bonanno crime family, Konigsburg was close with Carmine Galante. Konigsburg would tell the FBI, concerning Carmine Galante, who was also known as Lilo, Konigsburg stated that he was ruthless and would kill without a second thought. Konigsburg appeared to respect Carmine Galante and told the FBI about Galante's rise to the position of underboss of the Bonanno crime family prior to his incarceration. The FBI file states, Konigsburg does not know definitely, but believes Joe Bonanno is still the boss of his family, and has been since 1931, while Johnny Burns is underboss. Burns' predecessor was Carmine Galante, also known as Lilo, while Galante's predecessor was John Cerone, also known as John Bennett. Several persons aspired to be underboss, including Joe Notaro, but Galante outmaneuvered all of them, and it was no contest. However, some sources state that Carmine Galante was only ever a very powerful captain at this time, but it is possible that he held the positions of both underboss and captain simultaneously. Harold Konigsburg would also state that before Carmine Galante was sent to prison, he had the potential to take over all of the New York Mafia. Konigsburg's FBI file states, "In general conversation, Konigsburg likewise has great admiration for Pete LaPlaca and Carmine Galante, and boasted that, along with Stassi, the four of them could take over the whole of LCN." As is famously known, when Carmine Galante came out of prison in the early 1970s, it could be stated that Galante did indeed try to take over the whole of Cosa Nostra in New York. In that last file extract, Konigsburg mentions Pete LaPlaca and Joseph Stassi, who, alongside Carmine Galante, had the potential to take over the whole of Cosa Nostra. Like Carmine Galante, both these men were greatly feared mobsters. Konigsburg even stating that Joseph Stassi was the most dangerous man in Cosa Nostra. Konigsburg's FBI file reads, Konigsburg described Pete LaPlaca as the second most dangerous man in La Cosa Nostra, LCN, Joe Stassi being the most dangerous. However, as far as he knows, at the present time LaPlaca is disenchanged with LCN, inasmuch as he thought he was going to be made a captain prior to his incarceration, but instead Gene Katina was made a captain. Peter Lodi Pete LaPlaca was a New Jersey-based Genovese crime family mobster who would eventually become a captain. One notable mobster in LaPlaca's crew would be the vicious and powerful Tino Fiumara. Joseph Stassi, also known as Joe Rogers and Hoboken Joe, was a greatly feared mobster who some believe was affiliated with the Genovese crime family. Although some sources have him down as a Gambino family mobster, and others as a powerful independent figure. Genovese captain Angelo Gyp DiCarlo was recorded stating that Joseph Stassi answered to Jerry Katina, which indicates that Joe Stassi was in the Genovese crime family. Stassi was heavily involved in narcotics trafficking and was actually a fugitive from the law at the time Konigsburg cooperated in 1964. Konigsburg's FBI file states, Konigsburg furnished the following information regarding Joseph Stassi. Konigsburg advised that he is fearful of only one person, that being Joe Stassi. He explained that he has no personal fear of him, but is aware that Stassi would kill his wife and children if he knew that he was supplying information to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. According to Konigsburg, Stassi is the world's coldest killer, has nerves of iron, and the smoothest killer alive today. Over in Boston, patriarch of family captain Ilario Zanino is talking with family underboss Gennaro Angiulo about the Angelo Bruno hit. Zanino is recorded discussing how he handles taking someone out. If you're clipping people, I always say make sure if you clip people, you clip the people around him first, but get them together, because everybody's got a friend, Jerry. He could be the dirtiest motherfucker in the world, but someone that likes this guy, that's the guy that sneaks you. You don't even know it. Colombo soldier Dominick Little Dom Cataldo regaled Gambino mob associate and future informer Joseph Joe Dogs Iannuzzi about how he murdered a Lucchese mobster and his associate called Johnny, who was the man who had set up his mob superior. After murdering the Lucchese mobster, Cataldo had Johnny dig the grave for the body. I drove the car as close as I could get to the hole, then John and I carried the fat fuck up and threw him in. "Oh shit, Johnny," I says. "I forgot to take his watch off, his ring and his dough. No sense in burying them." So Johnny says he would go and get them. He jumps in the hole, and I shot him too. Put the lime in, and then the dirt, and then the seed. But I had a lot of dirt to spread around, because I had a 2-story job there. Obviously, burying a body isn't the only way of disposing of a victim's corpse. John Sonny Franzese, the then aging Colombo family powerhouse, was caught on a wiretap talking with associate Guy Furtado about how times had changed with regards to mob hits. "I killed a lot of guys. You're not talking 4, 5, 6, 10. Today, you can't have a body no more. It's better to take that hour and a half, an hour, to get rid of the body, than it is to leave the body on the street." Franzese would then go on to say that the best way to get rid of a body was by dismembering the corpse in a kiddie pool and drying the severed body parts in a microwave, before stuffing the parts in a commercial grade garbage disposal. I hope you found that compilation interesting. Thanks for watching.